Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to the Steam Winter Sale. So Winter Sale has started 21st December until the 4th of January, 2 weeks. So as always, first video, this is games that have hit new highest discounts. So they've never been cheaper on Steam before. Now, when I say new highest discounts, what I mean is we are using the dollar as base because over the course of 2023, the game prices have increased a lot. The regional prices have been updated and increased in most places. So while you may see a bigger discount, the price may still be more depending on where you are. So the only way I can do this is to keep the US dollar as base because that is the only one that hasn't changed. So big list, 30 games. I've tried to pick up different mixture of games, genres, etc. in these bigger games. So let's get started. We begin with Hogwarts Legacy, probably one of the best-selling games, maybe the best-selling game of the year, at least in terms of the big AAA games, and overwhelmingly positive reviews, very positive overall as well. And yeah, was hugely popular when it dropped. Everybody seemed to be playing. And here is the price right now, 50% off for the base game, $2,000 in India, $30, 25 pounds and 40 in Canada, and 30 in the Eurozone. Still, we have 8,000 people playing. All-time peak was roughly 900,000. Next is a game called Predecessor. So this is a MOBA and FPS game. Came out December of last year, and it looks decent. Was given away free on Epic as well recently, and it's a third-person multiplayer PvP style game. And this is still in early access and has a very small player base. 55% off, 202 in India only, $4.04, 337 in the UK and 530 in Canada. Next is BLACKTAIL. So, forge the legend of Baba Yaga, a girl accused of witchcraft and expelled from her home. Live out the origins of the Slavic myth in this one-of-a-kind blend of intense archery combat and dark storytelling set in a vibrant fairy tale world. Graphically looks good. I had heard quite a bit about this game when it first came out. Now the price is quite reasonable. It looks very good. Graphically, reviews are positive. And this is 67% off, 462 in India, $990, so just under 10, 825 in the UK, 1320 in Canada, and 10 euros. Resident Evil 4, so this technically dropped a little before the sale started, but it is now at a good 50% sale as well. Overwhelmingly positive reviews, both the recent and overall, and also the separate DLC has been out, separate ways DLC. So yeah, this was one of the few games that came out this year with no real issues, no performance problems, nothing. It was just good from the start, and now it is 50% off, 1800 in India, $30, 25 pounds and 40 in Canada. Capcom has been on form with the remakes of the old Resident Evil games, so this was another successful one. Next is God of War. So God of War is now finally 50% off. Again, a game with both recent and overall positive reviews. And now this is 50% off, $16.49 in India, $25, 20 pounds, 32 in Canada, 25 in the Eurozone, 37 in Australia, 414 in Mexico. Persona 5 Royal. So I'm actually not too familiar with this series, but it seems to be very popular, and it came to Steam on the 21st of October. There are a few different versions, so I'm not sure which is like considered the main version or something. But this one here is 50% off, 2200 in India, $30, 25 pounds and 40 in Canada. It Takes Two, so it's a popular co-op game made by Hazelight. They also made A Way Out, and this one here came out in March of 21. I forgot, it's been quite a few years now. And this is now 75% off, 549 in India, $10, 874 in the UK, 1374 in Canada. This game is co-op only, so you can't play this single player. You do need a friend who also has the game. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So the full remake of the trilogy and all the DLCs and all the content This is now at a fantastic, unbelievable price for a 90% off. So 300 rupees only for the entire thing. $6, £5, 8 in Canada, 6 in the Eurozone. Dead Space, so another game from this year and the remake, and also overall very good. No issues, came out and did well from the start, and this also at an excellent price. Good sort of third-person horror sci-fi type shooter, and this is 60% off, 1200 in India, $24, £20, 32 in Canada, 24 in the Eurozone. This has been steadily dropping, like pretty much every sale they've dropped it 5% more. So you could wait a little more, and who knows, by the summer sale next year you might see 75% or something. So yeah, but if you want it, you can pick it up. It's at a good price now. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection. So this version here has Uncharted 4 and The Lost Legacy, two Uncharted based games, and this is now at a 50% sale. So this is once again $16.49 in India, $25, £20, 32 in Canada, 25 in the Eurozone. Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2 Deluxe Edition. So you could say sort of a fun third-person shooter set in the Plants vs Zombies universe. So you have teams of different plants and zombies versus zombies fighting each other. And yeah, it's kind of a popular game. It's also a bit of fun. I tried it with the EA Play thing, and this is now 87% off, $194 in India, $389, £324, and $519 in Canada. Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2. Now the first Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts is also on a new low, but this one has better reviews. That one had some mixed reviews, so I skipped that one. Now this one here, again, you're playing as a sniper with some different missions to do, and overall reviews are positive, 82%, 85% off, 300 in India, $6, $524 in the UK, and $749 in Canada. You can get a double pack for both the games if you wanted. Next is Darkest Dungeon 2. So Darkest Dungeon, the first game, was one of my favorite games. I still play it occasionally. And then they made the sequel. Initially was in early access for a while, was exclusive on Epic, then came to PC and all that. But now I think the game is complete, and they still have some updates here and there in terms of balancing. It's still good, but I don't think it's as good as the first one. But it is now available on a new highest discount, 25% off, $1,200 in India, $30, 25 in the UK, 37.49 in Canada, and 29.24 in the Eurozone. Gotham Knights says here, Batman is dead. It's now up to the Batman family, Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, Robin to protect Gotham City. So this is now 85% off, $449 in India, $8.99 in the US, $7.49 in the UK, $11.99 in Canada, and $8.99 in the Eurozone. Now, I was personally never into a lot of the superhero stuff, like from movies and stuff. I did like the Batman Arkham games, so unfortunately I'm not really too familiar with the whole universe and what's going on here, if it's good or not. Reviews are mixed overall. Recent ones are positive. Need for Speed Unbound. So I believe this is the latest Need for Speed game. Came out end of last year, and now another game that has steadily dropped quite a lot, and it's all the way down to 86% off. So just over a year ago, this would have cost you $3,500 here in India. Now it's less than 500. Similarly, it's $979 in the US. How expensive was this full price? My God, $979 after an 86% sale. $839 in the UK, $12.59 in Canada, $9.79 in the Eurozone. So yeah, you could wait a little more and see maybe if it gets to 90, but it is almost there. If you wanted to play this one, I think this is a good price. Also, the Palace Edition, which is like the more complete version, is not a lot more, so you could just get this and get the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know. I still pick them up. I still have a soft spot for these Need for Speed games, even if I don't play them, mostly because they have official licensed cars, and after a while they'll get removed eventually. but I do like to try them out at least a little bit here and there. There are occasionally some nice cars in there that I like to drive. I mean, you have the DeLorean, the forgot that Cosworth Mercedes here. So yeah, 86% is, I guess, pretty good. Now another game on a new low is the very popular Divinity Original Sin 2, the definitive edition. So if you're not familiar, this is the same studio that has made Baldur's Gate 3. This was their previous game and a very, very good game. I have played a little bit of this and I really liked it. Even for people who are not into turn-based stuff or tactical stuff, even you should like it, because they've done it in such a way that it was surprisingly fun and easy to play this. So another game that gets universal praise, and rightly so. So this is 70% off, still on a good old regional price as well, by the way. $297 only in India, $13.49, $9 and £9, $16.49 in Canada, and $13.49 in the Eurozone. NieR Automata, so a bit of a surprise because NieR Automata often doesn't go on sale during the big Steam sales. It tends to be on sale outside of it, but this time they have it on sale here. And another very unusual game, very popular game. This is 60% off, $532 in India, $16, £12, $21.40 in Canada. This is the game of the year, game of the Yorha edition. Now previously they did sell the base game as well, and this DLC is included in this version, so you don't need to buy this. But if you bought the base game previously, you can get the DLC on a sale and get this version. I guess it'll become this version. Next we have Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Daemonhunters. So this is a turn-based tactical game where you are the Grey Knights in this one. And I have this game. I did play it last year. It came out May of last year, and it's a very well made game. Multiple difficulty settings, a lot of customizations, and team options, basically like different knights that you can select here. And overall, it was a really good game for people who like tactical turn-based games, or if you are into the Warhammer 40k setting. So you could try different settings, difficulty settings, play on the easy if you just want the Warhammer 40k experience. If you're an experienced tactical gamer, I guess you can try the harder difficulties. But yeah, it is now 60% off, $728 in India, $18, £14, and $20.59 in Canada. There's a couple more versions with extra stuff. You could get them later. There's one with Castle and Crows, like a very famous Grey Knight included, and a few other things. Reviews are not that great for the DLCs, so you could just try the base game and then pick them up later. Next is Atomic Heart. So another game that had quite a lot of hype when it first came out early in the year. I think it is still available on the Game Pass because I did play it via the Game Pass. I didn't complete it. I played a few hours, but yeah, it was interesting, the graphics and the setting, and there's some gameplay elements that were quite interesting too. So you had this sort of ability where you could pick up all the loot from nearby using some sort of force, and yeah, that was pretty well done. And now this is 50% off, $13.49 in India, $30, £27, 14 Canada. There's also a demo you can try. So yeah, I'll wait a little more for a bigger sale. There's also a new DLC that has come out for this one. Next is Soulstice. So another game from last year. I think this is an Italian made game, and this is a spectacle fighter similar to something like Devil May Cry. And generally I've seen good reviews for this one, an indie game that is actually decent. And this is now 50% off, $4.49 in India, $20, $17.49 in the UK, and $22.74 in Canada. Scars Above, so another interesting sci-fi themed game, and this is also now at a good sale, 70% off, $6.59 in India, $12, $10.49 in the UK, $16.49 in Canada. So it's another game that I would like to try, but I want a little more sale, slightly more, because I've heard that this is kind of a short game, like 5-6 hours max. So a little more discount and then I may consider this. OXENFREE 2 Lost Signals. So you may have OXENFREE in your library because that first game was given away pretty much everywhere, multiple times. It was like a mysterious visual novel style game, you could say, adventure game. And this is the sequel to that game, and this is 50% off, 440 in India, $10, £9, and 12.49 in Canada. A lot of people love that game, so if you are one of those, definitely have a look at this. Next is Chernobylite Enhanced Edition. So another horror FPS style game, post-apocalyptic setting set in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, and unusual story. I've seen a little bit of gameplay, but I didn't want to see too much because I wanted to play it myself. Another game that has had an increase in the regional price, but it is 60% off, 520 in India, $12, 9.51 pounds, and 15.59 in Canada. Deliver Us Mars, so another game from this year, another sequel. I had played the first game, Deliver Us the Moon. I really liked that game, and the adventure story game. This is a direct sequel, I think, set a few years later, and also got good reviews. So this is 55% off, $4.94 in India, $13.49 in the US, $11.24 in Canada, in the UK, and $15.29 in Canada. Need for Speed. So a lot of the Need for Speed games are on sale, very good prices, but this one here, which is sort of a reboot because they have just Need for Speed in the title, this is on a new low. The others are very cheap but on equal to their previous lows. I'll mention them in a different video, but here this one is on a new low. Reviews are mostly positive. I don't remember hearing great things when it first came out. People were not liking the cringe FMV sequences, but it seems to be okay now apparently, and this is 85% off, $224 in India, and $449, 374 pounds, and 5.99 in Canada, and this is the deluxe version. Hardspace Shipbreaker. So another game I like quite a lot. You're basically working for a company called Lynx Corporation in space, and your job is to chop up these spaceships and salvage stuff. May sound pretty straightforward, but there was a somewhat relaxing charm to this game. I played it when it was in early access. Now it is out and complete, and it is now 50% off as well. $671 in India, $14.69, $12.59 pounds, 20 in Canada, and 23 in Australia. Another game that I like quite a lot is Tales of Iron. Now, Tales of Iron is a 2D Souls-like game with a very interesting concept. You play as this rat here, Reggie, who is like the heir to the rat kingdom, and you have to defend your kingdom against enemies, mostly the frog clans. And the other thing is, on the 19th of December, this game got a huge free expansion, endgame expansion, with a lot more bosses and a new area and stuff like that. So great value. I played and finished the whole game. This is one of the few games that did like 100%, and it took me 12 to 16 hours, something like that. And now they have added a lot more content, so definitely worth a try, and it's on an 80% sale. Price is also not bad, $259 only, $5, $4.39 in the UK, $5.99 in Canada. Inertial Drift. So another racing game that I like to mention every now and then. So this is inspired by that anime, I guess. Art style is pretty interesting. Bit of a story here. The main trick here with the gaming is you steer with the left trigger as you do, left stick I mean, and then you drift with the right stick. And that was like the unique gameplay element they added, and it works surprisingly well. You get used to it very quickly, and the game looks good as well. I like the art style here. So this is 75% off, $220 in India, $5, $4.24 in the UK, $6.49 in Canada, €5. Now we have Phoenix Point, which is basically made by the developers of XCOM. This is another turn-based strategy tactical game, another one with good reviews. I think this was included in a bundle not too long ago, because I have it, and this is 65% off, only $200, so still on the old regional price, $874, $682 in the UK, and $839 in the Eurozone. There's a demo here as well if you want to check it out first and see if it's something you might like. And then finally we have Lawn Mowing Simulator. So you run your own lawn mowing business, you pick up different types of lawnmowers, You have your jobs and tasks to complete, big areas, stuff like that. If you like these simulation style games like Power Wash or Car Mechanic Simulator and all of those, you should enjoy this as well. So this is 70% off, 404 in India, $6, 479 pounds, 779 in Canada, and 599 in the Eurozone. So that's a quick look at games that have hit new lows this time during the winter sale. And next up, I'll be doing the best games under 5, under 10, stuff like that. If you have any requests, like for specific types, like genres or something, let me know. I'll try and get to that. We have a bit of time, so I'll try and do as many as I can.